Hey, what's up guys, it's Austin. As you can tell by our screen, this video is going to be about Zelda Breath of the Wild. This is going to be my review. So what I thought of this game from playing it, and I'm going to give you my top 10 reasons to buy this game. This video is brought to you by Homeboy Advance. Homeboy Advance runs a Etsy store that sells cool video game shirts like this. He does a pretty cool fusion of video games and rap music and puts them together in a really cool style that's completely original. So check him out on Etsy. We'll put him in the video description. He sent us a couple of these shirts out. We'll be wearing them in various videos, but definitely check him out. His art style is like nothing I've ever seen, and I really, really love his shirts. All right, guys. So like I said before, I'm going to give you guys 10 reasons that this is honestly the best video game that I've ever played. I'm going to start off with just the pure sense of, I don't even know how to describe it. Just, I love RPG games. I always have. My favorite game of all time until I played this was Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And the reason I like that game is because I felt like I was exploring a world that I'd never been to before and just doing really whatever I wanted to do inside of this world, and also completing a mission or a quest that, you know, made me feel like I was accomplishing something. This game takes that, in my opinion, and just builds upon it. It's not Skyrim in the sense of, you know, semi-realism, but I'm telling you guys, whenever I first started playing this game, the controls are so intuitive. And I'm going to say that's my number one, intuitive controls. Anything you want to do in this game, you can pretty much do. For example, I came up to an apple tree, and I had a sword, and you can throw your sword. And I threw it, and it hit this apple, and it knocked it off the tree, just because I thought, I wonder if I can do that. And it worked. And it was crazy. I'd never played a game like that, I just thought that should work, and it worked. And it really, really did a good job of doing this. And if you've ever played a Zelda game before, it's a little bit different than what they were in the past. It still has some of your, main points that other Zelda games have, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. Number 2 is puzzles. This game is full of interesting puzzles. Everything you do kind of has a puzzle element or puzzle feel to it. I've never played a game like this that I spent as much time figuring something out and really enjoyed doing it the whole time I was playing. You guys will see if you end up getting the game. I don't want to give any spoilers. I'm going to go ahead and say that now. Throughout the rest of this review, I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free. But the puzzles in this game are out of this world. The next thing I want to talk about, which will be number 3, is finding loot. Everything in this game pretty much you can pick up. Whether it's weapons, things you pick up off of monsters or other stuff you kill, food, you can pretty much pick up anything. It's got a really cool inventory system in this game that's different than you've seen in other RPG games. It's not really weight-based, it's more slot-based. So you have a menu that is key items, weapons, bows, food, and it's like ingredients. It's things that you can use to make other things. And you have a certain amount of slots in these menus that you can fill up. And once they get full, you can't carry any more of that certain item. So say you get 10 melee weapons. I'm not sure what the number is, but you can't pick up once all your slots are full, which is really cool. So you're not worried about trying to figure out how much weight you pick up. You know that if I have X number of weapons, I can't pick up anymore. So that's really cool. So the next thing I want to talk about, since I kind of hit on weapons, is kind of a plus and kind of a minus. I like it. Other people in the community kind of don't, but it's weapon deterioration. It's really cool. So you pick up a weapon, regardless of what it is. You find it in a dungeon, you win it from beating a boss, anything. Any weapon in this game doesn't last forever. Just kind of, in real life, if you had a piece of metal and you're beating it against something all day long, it's eventually going to break. And in this game, it doesn't matter if it's a legendary item or something you pick off of just some random monster you kill. Everything breaks. So everything has a limit and it breaks. Some people hate it. I kind of like it. I think it's cool. It adds a little bit of realism to the game. Another thing I want to talk about is combat. The combat in this game is pretty simplistic, but I like that. I've always been more into story-driven games. I'm not really into the game to have, realistic combat, but I like the combat system in this game. It's cool. It gives you things. You can throw your weapons. You've got bow and arrow. You've got a bunch of different kind of weapons, from long swords to two-handed swords to single-hand swords to shields. The combat system in this game, I really enjoy it. The next thing I want to talk about are the boss battles. I've only, up to this point in this game, I think I have about 5 hours in, but your mileage may vary depending on what you're doing. I've done a lot of exploring. I like seeing what's out there, but the first boss battle I got into was actually pretty difficult, but it wasn't so difficult that I couldn't overcome it. It might be hard for maybe some younger fans that are trying to get into the series, but I really thought the boss battles were good. What number am I on?
6.
We'll say 6. So number 6, which I've kind of hit on it already, is just how vast this game is. Everything in this game that you can see, you can travel to, and it's really amazing. I'm at probably after I got off the plateau, which you'll learn what that is in the game. I don't want to give any spoilers, but after you get off the plateau is when you're kind of looking for your very first quest point. And if I walk straight from where I came off the plateau to where I get to my first quest checkpoint, it would have probably taken me like an hour and a half or 2 hours just to walk straight there. Not to mention all the other stuff I did along the way. So the vastness of this game is just really, really awesome. The next thing, which will be number 7, is the dungeon system. I actually listened to a review on YouTube, and a guy talked about that he didn't really think that this game had a dungeon system, but it does. One of the main things you're doing in this game is you're seeking out shrines, which are kind of like your dungeons. You go down there and you clear it. It might not be killing monsters, it might be doing puzzles or something like that, but it is still a dungeon system. You are working your way through to get to the end to have some kind of final prize, and I really like it. It's really good, and I can't say really much more about it besides that without giving some spoilers, but it's great. Let's see. The next thing I want to talk about is strategy. It seems like, I know I talked about puzzles already, but everything in this game has some kind of strategy involved in it. You don't always have to go in looking for a fight. You can kind of work your way around, sneak, and I really like that. Don't get me wrong, like I said before, I like the combat system, but sometimes I like to take the passive approach and, maybe skirt the edge of an enemy and find a different way to what I'm trying to do. I know I already talked about how intuitive the controls are, but I really want to talk about for a second, this will be number 9, the motion control when you're using the bow. It really took me off guard. Whenever I first picked up the game and was playing it and was using the bow and arrow the first time, I was using the Joy-Con stick, which you can use to move my bow back and forth. But I noticed as I was getting close to something, it seemed like my bow was really shaky. And I realized it was because I was moving my hands while I was holding the switch in my hands, and it was moving the reticle of my arrow, which was, it was awesome. It really makes the aiming so much easier just to pull your bow up and move your switch where you want to aim. It's really, really cool. And so number 10, which is the last thing I want to talk about, which I kind of hit on that last one, was how fun it is to play this thing handheld. I really like playing it hooked up to my big TV because I like the big TV experience, but I've been playing this thing so much, I've noticed that at the end of the night when it's time to leave the TV and get in bed, I still want to play a little bit more. And I can lay in bed with this thing and play it and have just as good of an experience right off the handheld as I do playing it on the TV. And that is what the Switch is all about. And I really can't say enough about how much that excites me about stuff to come. Is this thing is awesome to play straight off of it in tablet mode or whatever they call it. But that's my top 10. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But this game is great. Like I said, I may be a little biased. I'm a huge Zelda fan. But this, honestly, in my opinion, is the best all-around video game that I've ever played. The graphics may not be as good as something you'll find on PC or you'll find on, another next-gen console. But the storytelling and the overall gameplay blow this thing out of the water. It is a phenomenal game. And it is honestly worth spending $300 on the Switch just to get this game. So you guys need to check it out and come back and check us out again for stuff coming up. We've got a lot of new content coming your way. And last but not least, I want to give one more shout out to Homeboy Advance for this t-shirt because it's super sweet. And this is actually a Zelda shirt, so it really fell in line with our Breath of the Wild review, and we really appreciate it. We're going to link to him in the description. Go check him out right after this video. And we'll see you guys next time.